stop before you finish your evening routine tonight, because what you eat in the hour before bed, after 60, could be either quietly accelerating your cognitive decline or doing something remarkable, rebuilding your brain cell by cell while you sleep. And most people have no idea this window even exists. Dr. Pardip has spent over 2 decades working at the intersection of geriatric medicine and nutritional neuroscience. He has reviewed hundreds of peer-reviewed studies, worked with patients from 60 to 91, and dedicated much of his career to one central question: why do some people stay mentally sharp into their 80s while others fade far too soon? What he has found consistently is that the evening hours are decisive. What you consume before bed either fuels your brain's overnight repair cycle or leaves it starved of what it needs to protect itself. Today, Dr. Pardip is sharing 3 fruits that, eaten in the evening, work directly with your aging brain's natural nighttime biology to reduce inflammation, sharpen memory, and stimulate new neural growth. Counting down from 3 to 1, and he warns you now, number 2 is something many people over 60 have been avoiding based on advice the research simply does not support. Stay with him. That one might change how you shop this week. Before he gets into it, drop a comment below. How old are you, and have you noticed any shifts in your mental sharpness recently? Dr. Pardip reads every comment personally, and your answer shapes the content he brings you each week. Number 3 is tart cherries. After 60, cognitive slowdown is rarely just neurons wearing out from age. It is inflammation, a low-grade, invisible inflammatory process creeping through brain tissue over years, impairing cellular communication and gradually degrading the architecture of memory. You don't feel it happening, and then one morning you cannot recall the name of someone you have known for decades. Montmorency tart cherries contain one of the most concentrated sources of anthocyanins in any food on Earth. Anthocyanins are the deep red pigments responsible for the cherry's color, and in neurological terms, they are among the most potent anti-inflammatory agents ever studied. A clinical study following adults between 65 and 82 who consumed 8 ounces of tart cherry juice each evening for 14 weeks showed measurable improvements in verbal learning and memory retention, alongside significant reductions in inflammatory biomarkers linked to neurodegeneration. Here is why timing matters. After 70, your brain's glymphatic system, the overnight crew that clears debris and the toxic proteins associated with Alzheimer's disease, operates at roughly a third less efficiency than it did in your 50s. The anthocyanins in tart cherries activate the glial support cells that assist this cleanup, effectively restaffing that overnight crew so the work gets done more completely. Tart cherries are also one of nature's rare food-based sources of natural melatonin. Not the synthetic kind in a pill, but melatonin that works in harmony with your body's own rhythms. Deeper sleep and brain health are not separate conversations after 60. They are the same conversation. How to use it. 8 ounces of pure tart cherry juice, not a sweetened blend, 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. Synergy tip. Pair it with a small amount of healthy fat, like a few walnut halves or a teaspoon of almond butter. Anthocyanins are fat-soluble and absorb significantly better with dietary fat present. Number 2 is ripe bananas. Yes, ripe bananas with the brown spots. The fruit that millions of people over 60 have been quietly avoiding because someone said the sugar content was a problem. Dr. Pardip wants to overturn that with evidence. He had a patient, a retired principal from Ohio, 68 years old, whose wife described his mental state as a slow dimming. Trouble following conversations, forgetting appointments, losing his train of thought mid-sentence. He had eliminated bananas years earlier based on something he had read online. When Dr. Pradip reintroduced one ripe banana each evening as part of a structured protocol, within 8 weeks, his cognitive clarity had improved substantially and his deep sleep had nearly doubled. He told Dr. Pradip, "My brain feels like it came back online. Here is why. A fully ripe banana is one of the richest food bioavailable sources of vitamin B6. After 60, the body's ability to convert dietary B6 into its active form declines due to reduced gut enzyme activity. Food-based B6 partially bypasses that bottleneck, and B6 in its active form is the master switch for neurotransmitter production, serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, the calming neurotransmitter your brain requires to enter deep, restorative sleep. Think of B6 as the shift supervisor at your brain's chemical manufacturing facility. Without that supervisor, production slows, quality drops, and the compounds needed for clear thinking and sound sleep never get made in sufficient quantities. Ripe bananas also supply tryptophan, the amino acid precursor to serotonin, which converts into melatonin using B6 as a cofactor. So a ripe banana before bed delivers both the raw material and the conversion tool in a single package. Your body produces its own sleep hormone through its own pathways because you gave it what it needed. And potassium, over 400 milligrams per banana. Your neurons generate electrical signals using a mechanism that depends on potassium to maintain balance. After 60, this mechanism becomes less efficient. Getting adequate potassium in the evening supports more efficient neuronal signaling, particularly during the overnight memory consolidation process when your brain files away the day's experiences. Without enough potassium, some of those memories get misfiled. Some don't get retained at all. How to use it? One medium ripe banana, 45 to 60 minutes before sleep. Do not refrigerate it. Cold arrests ripening and reduces the concentration of the beneficial compounds. Synergy tip. Pair it with a small amount of magnesium. Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seed butter, or dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao. Magnesium activates the same GABA receptors needed for deep sleep. Combined with the tryptophan pathway from banana, the two deepen the specific sleep stage during which your brain performs its most intensive repair work. Before Dr. Pradip reveals number one, if this information is reaching you, please hit the like button and subscribe. New evidence-based content on brain health and aging every single week. Every like helps more people find it. Thank you. Number one is blueberries. Dr. Pradip had a patient, a retired nurse, 73, from Western Pennsylvania. Her daughter brought her in after she began getting turned around during walks she had taken for 15 years. Eleanor's cognitive screening placed her in a range that warranted monitoring. Dr. Pradip incorporated 1 cup of wild blueberries into her evening routine as part of a broader protocol. At 4 months, her scores had returned to normal range. At 6 months, her daughter told him she is fully herself again. Eleanor said, "My brain got a new battery." Here is why blueberries earn the top position. The key compounds, pterostilbene and anthocyanins, do something almost no other food compounds accomplish. They cross the blood-brain barrier. Most of what you eat never reaches brain tissue directly, but the anthocyanins in blueberries carry the precise molecular structure to pass through, acting directly on neurons. A longitudinal study from Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, following more than 16,000 women over 70, found that regular blueberry consumers showed a cognitive aging delay of up to 2.5 years compared to those who rarely ate them. The researchers attributed this to the anthocyanins' ability to reduce neuroinflammation and preserve the structural integrity of the hippocampus, the region central to forming new memories. The nighttime specific data is what truly elevates blueberries to number one. Research comparing morning versus evening consumption found that older adults who ate blueberries in the evening showed significantly greater overnight memory consolidation. The explanation? Anthocyanins from evening consumption reach peak concentration in the brain precisely during the deep sleep phases when the glymphatic cleanup and memory consolidation processes are simultaneously most active. Think of it as handing your brain's overnight cleaning crew the most powerful tools they have ever used. Blueberries also elevate BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, sometimes called the brain's fertilizer, which stimulates the growth of new neurons and synaptic connections. After 70, BDNF decline becomes steep enough to meaningfully impair neuroplasticity. Research found consistent blueberry consumption increased BDNF expression in older adults measurably within 12 weeks. That is the difference between a brain that is rigidifying and one that is still growing. Pterostilbene adds another layer by activating each neuron's internal antioxidant defense system, a system that becomes sluggish with age. Research found pterostilbene outperformed resveratrol from red wine at reducing oxidative stress in aging brain tissue and remained active in the body significantly longer. How to use it? 1 cup of blueberries 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. Wild blueberries, the small dark ones in the frozen section, contain 2 to 3 times more anthocyanins per gram than cultivated varieties and cost far less. Freezing actually increases bioavailability. Synergy tip: add a pinch of black pepper. Piperine, the active compound in pepper, inhibits gut enzymes that break down anthocyanins, increasing how much your body actually uses. Or fold your blueberries into a small serving of full-fat Greek yogurt. The fat aids absorption, and the yogurt contributes tryptophan and calcium, both supporting overnight neural recovery. The belief that cognitive decline after 60 is inevitable, a sentence to simply be accepted, is directly contradicted by the best science available today. Your brain retains the capacity for repair and regeneration at 65, at 73, at 80, and beyond. What changes with age is not the brain's willingness to heal. What changes is how much deliberate support that healing process requires from you. Tart cherries calm the invisible inflammation eroding your neural communication and activate the overnight glymphatic system that removes the proteins most closely linked to Alzheimer's disease. Ripe bananas supply the B6, tryptophan, and potassium your neurons need to communicate clearly, consolidate your day's memories, and naturally produce the sleep hormone that opens the door to your deepest repair cycles. And blueberries send anthocyanins and pterostilbene directly through the blood-brain barrier to stimulate new neural growth, protect every neuron you have, and work in synchrony with your brain's most powerful overnight processes. Eleanor came back to herself at 73. Dr. Pardip's patient from Ohio reclaimed his sharpness at 68. These are not exceptions. They are examples of what becomes possible when you stop accepting decline as destiny and start giving your brain the materials it needs to do the work it was designed to do. If this video gave you something real, subscribe and hit the bell. Dr. Pardip and his team bring you new content on brain health and aging every week. And before you go, which of these 3 fruits are you trying tonight? Tart cherries, banana, or blueberries? Leave it in the comments. Dr. Pardip will read it. And if you are already eating any of these in the evening, tell him, have you noticed a difference? Your experience matters not just to Dr. Pardip, but to every person watching who is still deciding whether change is possible for them. Your comment might be the one that tips them toward trying. See you in the comments and in the next video.